foremost, thank you guys for being here today and taking time out of your day to attend our presentation. I can assure you one thing, I can't assure anything for you guys, but I hope you guys have fun during your presentation and enjoy it. Alright, and first, today we'll be talking to you all about youth in the outdoors. Outdoor activities help young people stay active and healthy, and they also improve stress and other things. Okay, by a show of hands, who actually wanted to show up today? Or who was dragged along?
Well, which one?
Whichever you guys want. Okay, who actually wanted to be here? Okay, who was dragged along by a friend or someone? Okay.
Also me.
Okay, there we go. See, we appreciate the honesty. Who's that? Alright, and then my name is Marina. I'm a junior at Bend Senior High School, and I worked as a wildlife interpretation intern for the High Disney Museum in Bend.
Hello, my name is Kyla Guerrero, and I am a senior at Bend High. I am the Marketing and Outreach Coordinator for the Environmental Center.
Hello, my name is Eileen, and I'm a sophomore at Caldera High School, and I was an intern for Camp Chica.
Hi, I'm Caleb VT. I'm a junior at Caldera High School, and I am the program intern for Vámonos Outside.
Okay, so our presentation agenda: introductions, Maria, Caleb, activity, Eileen, Kyla, and then we'll do our closing message.
So, ¿qué es Green Jobs or what is Green Jobs? It's a mix of Nature Connect and Vámonos Outside, a project to pair people of color youth with meaningful internships and various environmental and outdoor business and organizations, such as Call Wild, Oregon Wild, Vámonos Outside, Think Wild, the High Disney Museum, Parks and Rec, Camp Chica, and the Environmental Center. Okay. Well, up first. Okay, as we established already, my name is Marina. I am the daughter of two hardworking immigrant parents who were always working. So the closest I got to doing outdoor stuff or anything outdoors was collecting pretty rocks in my Hello Kitty backpack. And I first joined the Vámonos Outside program in the fall of my freshman year, when one of the past interns for Vámonos Outside, David, came into one of my classrooms to talk about the program. And then, since you guys were honest with me, I'll be honest with y'all, I only joined the program out of pity because he had mentioned that they were going to take the program away, so I kind of felt bad, and I was like, ooh, maybe I should join it. Okay. And I know it sounds bad, but it honestly turned out to be a pretty good decision. And then at the beginning of the program, I was pretty lost, not only from where they had taken me in the middle of the forest, but also from where I was in life. Because I was in a spot in my life where I had lost a lot of my Spanish due to not having a lot of Hispanic or Latino minority around me, as well as I was in that middle phase of not exactly being a kid anymore, but also not being an adult, which we call teenage phase. And I wasn't being treated as either, too. It's kind of just like, oh, we can't really do this, we can't really do that. And in the beginning, I assure you that if you were to ask Wesley how I was, he'd probably say something along the lines of stubborn, resistant, and blunt. I don't know what he'd tell you now, but you guys can ask him and let me know if you guys want to. After about 2 weeks of the program, I started gaining more confidence and skills. I started looking forward to going every Wednesday. It genuinely felt like I was just hanging out with friends. It didn't really feel like I was being pushed or forced into this, like when I used to play soccer, for example, or when I played basketball for my middle school. I was having fun and learning at the same time. And with it just felt like hanging out with friends, and we were discovering new similarities amongst each other. Whether it was similar friends we had from school that we might have known each other, different artists, or even as far as to debate whose mom made the best tamales and stuff. It was pretty fun, honestly. I swear, there wasn't one Wednesday that wasn't filled with just laughter and us bullying each other in a good way, I promise. I swear you guys. And to me, it felt as if I finally found a place where I actually felt like I belonged. A place to fit in, and even when I was the only girl in the program. Oh, next slide, yeah. So, in that picture here in the corner, I was the only girl in the program at that time. And even then, I felt included. I was always involved in the cheeseman with the guys, too, which was pretty fun, honestly. If you get to know a guy's mind like that, it's pretty wild. And then thanks to the Vamos Outside program, I was offered the opportunity to work with Green Jobs. Luckily, I was also able to work with friends from Vamos Outside and many new others. Even though we were in the work environment, it didn't quite feel like it. Katie and Wesley's efforts made to create a space where we could feel heard and seen, where we know who to go to when we needed help and not to be judged. Knowing we'd all help each other where we didn't know stress and pressure. Through Green Jobs, I ended up getting a wildlife interpretation internship with the High Desert Museum, as you can see here in the middle. That's me holding a deer falcon. Although I didn't work with many people around my age, I still had a blast. I was treated as one, and I was never excluded with the things that were going on. I was also very included and was able to give my opinion every step of the way, even if I wasn't going to be there when that thing was going to happen. They still included me and wanted my opinion to do with those things. I was given freedom, but not let completely in the dark. And in order to create a space that's enjoyable and that people can feel a place of belonging is important. It's important to be surrounded by people who see you fully. And with having youth, you in the outdoors, you get another point of view for people. Even I can say that when people ask me about any of the programs like Vamos Outside, Green Jobs, or anything else, I am able to talk about it for hours and hours. So that's another intel on youth in the outdoors, which my friend Kayla will tell you guys more about.
Hey, everybody. I'm Caleb VT. Maybe you heard me in the intro, but to explain that a little bit, the VT is the V is from my father's last name. His last name is Vargas. He's from Michoacan, Mexico, and the T stands for Torres. Is my mom's last name, and she's from Zihuatanejo. And I'm just Caleb because I'm from Portland. And so my presentation today is gonna be it's gonna be about the opportunities that I was given throughout my life, how I got here today on this stage, and just how it can be, given to other youth as well. So to start things off, today's world is evolving very rapidly, and the power of youth has been more crucial now than ever. Young people bring value and to any workforce by offering a unique combination of energy, creativity, adaptability, and perspective. I moved to Bend about 8 years ago, which is may seem a little crazy, but that's half my life ago. And I live with mi tia, my aunt, and her 4 kids, and we sit up and slept in their attic. So needless to say, we didn't exactly have the money or resources to do the popular stuff that Bend was all about. But nonetheless, we still went. We still went outside. We had a lot of fun. Maybe getting into trouble sometimes, but it was just really memorable. And then later, we got my family and I got our own house, and I got involved with the Vámonos Outside program that Wesley introduced me to, actually. And so I got involved with that, and so they took kids like me. They took us mountain biking, canoeing, rock climbing, cave, everything. And it was just so cool to me that I could do this for absolutely free and with people that would like me too. So later, once I got to high school, Vámonos Outside was looking for a diverse age difference among their staff. And it proved to be really beneficial. And my experience working with them working with kids from elementary to high school, I was able to get them to follow instructions or maybe stop doing something dangerous without sounding like a teacher or a parent, because that's not what kids want to hear at summer camp. So another example would be another intern that I worked with, Judith. She was the marketing intern. She knew how current social media works and was successfully able to create a large number of very high quality posts. So now Judith and I, along with all the other interns that were given our jobs by the Green Jobs program. Now, like, school should be a main concern for any kid, but like in the free time, a lot of people, young people, strive for jobs to help better their local community and like also help build their resume potentially. But for now, this potential just remains that, just the potential. My presentation is going to underscore the power of youth in the job market and also hopefully encourage local employers or community leaders to invest in this young talent. So to what I said earlier about how youth provide a unique perspective, young people aren't exactly constrained by how things are done or how things always have been done. It's important that we have diverse perspectives and people who can think in complexity and nuance. And it's because as we progress into our future, that's how our communities are going to be. They're going to be more complex. And we need people to bring more perspective, more diversity in a way. So it's important that we as community understand how to navigate it and teach the younger generations, because they will eventually going to be what can become in the future. It's also important that youth are provided with such opportunities. Earlier this year, I was able to go to Washington, D.C. with my boss, Wesley. And for 1 week to attend an advocacy trip organized by the Green Latinos. And in order to advocate for newly naturalized citizens provided with free park passes to any national park within the U.S., as well as advocating for other public land-related topics. So during our trip, I got to see how advocacy process functioned. I met official senators and their staff, mostly their staff, and I also got to go to important buildings like the Department of Interior and the Supreme Court too, of the United States. Also, personal to me, it just goes without saying that being raised like in Oregon all my life as just a young Chicano kid, DC was the most culturally diverse place I've ever visited, ever. Like, the first thing I noticed when I stepped foot was just all the languages I heard that I never even heard before. And it's just, I just stood like in amazement of all of it, including the museums. I was able to visit there during my time, including Native American History Museum, Asian Art Museum, and the African American History Museum. So it was really cool, but as cool and as resume building as it was, unfortunately, not every single youth has the opportunity to do this. So that's kind of like the unspoken biases or invisible challenge that face youth in the job market. So the main one being entry-level positions are extremely highly competitive and focus more on education and work experience. But with college prices increasing 135% from 1963 to 2021, it's getting harder each year for young people to make such achievements and build their resumes. So this invisible bias creates a cycle where youth struggle to gain the opportunity to show their efforts and abilities. So employers and community leaders have the power to break that cycle of bias by actively seeking out and supporting youth and benefiting from their talent. So now I'm going to list 3 ways that can be possible. So with number 1, providing internships and apprenticeships, just as the Green Job has done. This means to make yourselves available to youth who look for an internship. Number 2 is prioritizing local hiring, which is going to inspire youth, give more opportunity to them to work for their local communities and helps them thrive just as well as any city with multiple workers. And finally, number 3 is adapting hiring practices, which by this I don't mean to lower standards by any means, but just have more of an open perspective of candidates, not just on past achievements, but future possibilities, future success. And so, in conclusion, the power of youth is not only important because in the workforce because of the abilities they bring, because eventually the future will revolve around these young people. And they will have the potential to drive the economic growth and stability within their future local communities. And so how this is going to be accomplished, I need to take the next part.
Well, first we're doing the activity.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Actually, no, we're going to do the activity now, the networking activity.
Okay, don't explain it. Oh, sorry, I need to choose this. All right. Okay, so some of you may have gotten a little piece of paper and a marker. If you don't have a paper or marker, please raise your hand. Wes will come around. Oh, sorry about that, guys. We'll give a couple minutes for that. Do you have the markers? Or... Oh, Wes also has the markers. So. Okay, while he's passing those out, I'll explain the activity a little bit. We're going to have you draw a moment that inspired you to work in the green sector. Please use no words. We kind of wanted to break up this presentation, make it a little bit more unique because I know you guys have probably been sitting around listening to people talk a bunch. So this will make it a little fun. When was the last time everyone's been able to just draw a picture with marker? Probably not in a while, so have fun with this. We're going to give you 5 minutes. Yeah. And then we'll have some people share or share with the people around you, get to know some new faces if you haven't already gotten to know each other. Here's my beautiful example. Can you tell what it is? Skiing? Yes? We love the snow. A little bit. Okay. How do we turn it? That's really good. Does anyone want to share their beautiful drawing? Anyone brave enough to share their drawings? Stand and share with the class? Anybody? Oh, did you want to? Okay.
So I'm Dave Hood. I'm originally from Ohio. I moved out here about 18 years ago. It was the first mountain I ever went to, and it blew my mind. I also work for Oregon State Parks now, and I'm really excited when we get paper checks. The white mark of the paper check is mountain. So I was about that, and I'm really connected with it.
Thank you for sharing. What's your name?
John.
John. Thank you, John. Anybody else? One more person? No? Oh, yes. What's your name?
I would say, I grew up in Bozeman, Montana. I was probably eating dirt before I could walk. So pretty much always grew up in the woods, but for me, learning to operate a crosscut saw was a real aha moment because of the way it connects the history of the tool itself, learning how to use a historic instrument for a useful purpose. And I was still working at that time. I thought when I retire, I'm going to have a second career, and it's going to be my second career is going to be in the woods. So that's what I've done.
Thank you for sharing. Now we're going to turn it back over to presentations, and we have Eileen.
Hello guys, I'm Eileen, Real Franco. And well, today I'll be talking about mentors and how big of an impact they can cause on you. Yeah. Okay. So first off, I grew up in a Mexican household, and Mexican households, they usually have their kids do everything for them, the parents. But in my situation, it was really different. I was actually a mommy girl. She would always just do everything for me, and she would always make sure I had everything without having to put any effort for it, which wasn't okay. I basically lived in a bubble where no one could do anything to me without a mom trying to protect me from all of those bad things. I realized I couldn't handle real-world situations. Communicating with people was becoming an issue, solving my own problems, managing my own responsibilities, seeking new experiences, and pushing my boundaries was becoming a challenge for me. When I got into the green jobs, it was first hard and not easy to do, but I decided to have courage and approach something I usually wouldn't do. Making big girl steps. As I entered the world of being a teenager and going into high school, I found it pretty hard just because your teenage phase is always really hard because of all these emotions you go through, and you have to start developing and growing as a person. That was hard for me, as I'm going to tell you guys, just because of the way my mom made me grow up. I had to let go of my fears and push myself more out there and involve myself with school activities. And making these big girl steps of getting out of my bubble and start seeking for new experiences to grow and learn made me grow in unexpected ways. But at first, like I said, it was pretty hard. Green jobs. Next one. Green jobs. I had this one friend, Daisy, at Caldera that I met when I was a freshman last year. She was one of the best things that could happen to me just because she was like that older sister that I didn't have. She taught me how to manage stuff, how to cope with stuff, and how to just put myself more out there. I actually did soccer with her, and she's 2 years older than me, so she's a senior now. But there was this one time where we both went out for lunch when I was a freshman, and Camp Chica came up. And she told me she was Camp Chica's first intern during summer, 2 years ago, in 2022, I believe. She told me how Camp Chica changed her in ways she didn't think were possible, and that it was probably the best thing that could have happened to her. I was like, wow, because hearing about all the positivity of that was shocking, just because I did hear before, becoming a teenager, that work shouldn't be fun. So I have a question for you guys. Who here before has heard that work shouldn't be fun? Raise hands. Right? That was a shock. And right after I heard her say she had a lot of fun with that job, I was like, oh, I want to do it. So, I followed Vamos Outside, and 2 months passed by, and I saw Vamos Outside post this intern link where you could become an intern during the summer. I immediately clicked on it, and I put my first option at Camp Chica. And the next week after that, I actually had an interview with Camp Chica. At first, I was a little bit scared because it was my first interview. I was still a freshman, and it was just it was a little hard to do that little step of growing up and starting doing things by myself. I went in for the interview. I met Vero, and guess what? I actually got the job. So I became Camp Chica's intern, and Camp Chica taught me incredible skills. Communication, I had to make conversations with parents, the girls, and help both Vero and Molly with events. Collaboration, Myra, who was Camp Chica's intern as well, we easily connected. We were both in the same school, and I met her through soccer as well, but we weren't as close before. Until Camp Chica. I love making friends, so when it came to having her with me, I enjoyed it so much, and we were just helping each other with whatever we were finding hard to do. I was able to manage time. At Camp Chica, time was valuable and limited. We had to do our best with time. And with the girls, it was kind of like a chaos, but we figured it out. I had to learn how to be creative. Vero and Molly would be really open to us bringing in new games and activities, which made my non-creative side become creative. I got the opportunity to make new friends, like these ones. And then I also, this one. I also made a lot of little girls friends with me, just because I was their leader, I guess. But I tried to not make it seem like a leader. I tried to make it more as a friendship, just so they could see me as a friend. And yeah, having both Vero and Molly as my mentors throughout this journey wasn't expected, but the best thing I could have asked for to take a big step into the real world. Vero taught me how to become the woman que puede sola, and Molly, who taught me how to not be afraid to try new things. Mentors really make a big impact in your life. Meeting Vero, Molly, Eddie, Katie, and Wes was unexpected. I found the missing puzzle I was missing. Thank you, mentors, for helping me navigate through challenging times and for believing in me. Mentors not only help you grow, but they open more opportunities for you. My friend Kyla, for example, will now be talking about the networking opportunities. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Hello, everyone. As mentioned before, my name is Kyla, and I am the Marketing and Outreach Intern at the Environmental Center. This Green Jobs opportunity gave me so many opportunities to expand my network and to have first-hand experience in a career field that I was interested in. Now, before I begin to tell you about my internship, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about myself. I am a second-generation Filipino-American who has actually never been to Asia and who grew up in a middle-class household with parents who encouraged me to be very involved since I was younger. I may not have had say in the activities that they signed me up for, such as gymnastics, dance, tennis, ballet, all of the things. And growing up, I was very shy in my activities. My parents always encouraged me to do more, and sometimes I remember feeling unmotivated or just uninterested, but I would do it because I wanted to make them proud. And even though I was nervous and maybe didn't want to do them at sometimes, I realize now the impact that it's had on my life and in helping me to be who I am today. These opportunities have influenced me a lot, and I'm very appreciative to have had these opportunities. And by trying new activities when I was young, I was forced to talk to more people and ultimately just stretch the confines of my comfort zone and found out more about what my passions were. So today, I would describe myself, I would describe myself as an involved opportunity seeker, a risk taker, and a people person. And the one aspect that really brings together all of these characteristics is curiosity. I'm curious about what I can learn and excited to try new things because by taking advantage of opportunities, I know that I can learn more about myself and about others. And even if I go into something and don't know if I'll have a positive outcome or a negative outcome, I know that I'm learning something. Additionally, I'm a risk taker, and I'm open to putting myself in uncomfortable situations because, again, I know that no matter what, I'll learn something. And I'm curious to know about the different experiences that will help me to grow. Finally, I'm a people person. I am energized by social interactions, and I'm curious about other people's lives. I like to know how people got to where they are, their occupations, their culture, their perspectives, and it's all very fascinating to me. And again, just all of this is fueled by my curiosity. Next slide, please. And this is where my little graphic of a positive feedback loop comes in. Ultimately, by being involved, this has helped me to build positive networking opportunities and to build relationships with people. And by knowing people, I think you can really gain even more opportunities, which leads to more involvement and more knowing people and more opportunities. So this is what I'm trying to get at today. After elementary school, I found personal motivation to seek opportunities without the guidance of my parents. And this is just to show that curiosity has taken me really far. Just to speak a little bit about how curiosity has driven me is just some of the activities that I do today. Just to talk a little bit about them, I'm a 4-year member of the Cross Cultural Club. I'm the vice president of the business club at my school and tennis team captain. So there are so many different opportunities that have led me to where I am today. But ultimately, that's not what the presentation's about. I'd like to talk a little bit more about the internship. And with all that said, I know that I'm extremely fortunate to have had these opportunities to network and to be able to grow on myself. But the big question that I hope to leave you with today is how can we ignite curiosity in youth? And specifically, how can we, meaning you, other students, and the collective society, ignite the curiosity in youth? That's a big question, I know. So now let's talk about the internship really quick. So my internship was ultimately an opportunity for me to work with people in the environmental sector that I was curious about. See the connection now? It all comes together, and ultimately how I was able to find this internship was by knowing people. So at my school, I'm involved in the environmental club, and one of the ladies who was the former sustainability coordinator for the Bend Pine School District had contacted me about different internship opportunities, and I was looking for something to do over the summer because I'd previously worked at a dance connection studio, and I felt like I wasn't really using my skills. Although I was able to meet people and be around dance all the time, it was super fun, but I really wanted to learn more about the environment and how business and environment combine. So I found this opportunity, and I gained so much, but I didn't realize how much I gained and what I was looking for until I did it. My internship was a really good combination of business and environmental work because I was able to learn about the operations of a nonprofit, but also be a camp counselor. So it was a good balance, and I feel like I was able to meet a lot of great people and get to know the different programs within a nonprofit. Some of the events which I helped with were the Repair Cafe, Green Drinks, and the Supporter Appreciation Event, and more. And through these events, I was able to meet different environmental enthusiasts who are also business owners and nonprofit workers and involved in the community in unique ways. So they really inspired me to just go out there and see what possibilities there are. So in conclusion, next slide please. These opportunities for networking and igniting curiosity were not possible without the guidance of mentors and people like you. So I encourage you to start a conversation with youth, to get to know youth for their interests and passions. And once a relationship is formed, it's easier to know more about them and know what might help them into their future. So you can host an intern and open new doors with unique experiences. And ultimately, this all starts with you. You have the opportunity to lead the future generations of entrepreneurs, politicians, and educators. And I call you today to take action and utilize your resources to guide today's youth to becoming tomorrow's change makers. So just as a question, how many of you feel like you've had an impact on the lives of youth? That's amazing. Thank you so much. And I think there are so many more things that you can do just by networking, by getting to know youth really for who they are and what they want in their lives. I think it's really important, and you can really make a big change. Thank you. Yeah, and then, okay, so now we just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Wes for giving us this opportunity. And do we have any questions? Any questions? Ooh.
You guys talked a lot about the importance of mentors for you all. What do you think were some of like the most important qualities in those mentors, or how did you really feel comfortable like forming those relationships?
Some things that help are just like feeling like there's the right space to do it. For example, the events which I mentioned, like there were people already around me networking and talking to others, so it didn't feel awkward to go up to someone and just introduce myself and be like, hey, who are you? I'm an intern and I'm trying to learn more about this. Like that helps a lot, but also if you guys like approach students, sometimes it can be uncomfortable for some people, and they might not necessarily be very open to receiving your support or help. But just being in spaces where maybe other students are receiving help, or maybe there's just a lot of networking already happening, that's really valuable. Thank you for the question. Yeah.
I'm Marcel Beig. I work for the City of Eugene River House Outdoor Center, and we have a junior instructor development program that we run as part of our program. So the purpose is to develop youth into outdoor education instructors. But I'm curious if you have any thoughts on how to attract a more diverse group of youth to want to take part in those types of programs. Like, do you have any recommendations? Do you have any thoughts on how we can better connect with that diverse group of people?
Yeah. Just, saying that you are, because not a lot of people are, in a way. So, like all of the programs, the sponsors that were on the earlier slide, they kind of presented themselves as people who were looking for that kind of thing, especially minority youth. So just presenting yourselves and also right benefits, like before I said, like resume building, because that's what a lot of, especially high schoolers, look for right now, because you know, it's you should just get as much experience as possible before college or things like that.
And like adding on to what Caleb said, like talking and like explaining what to expect when going into that, because sometimes teenagers don't want to go strictly into the dark. They want to know what to expect or what to have beforehand.
We also have brochures in the back with a little list of things to make it interesting for teens. So some of the points on there are just to make it fun and unique. For example, the Green Jobs Internship has so many different opportunities. I signed up for marketing. They did like outdoor and camp, so just having options so that they can really choose what they want to do. Also just like having time to be around other youth. It's really important just to have like not just one youth in your program, but to be connected.
And then I forgot to mention advertising. Like especially in schools, we see like posters everywhere about places that like specifically look for it. So just collaborating with schools too, just saying, you know, we want to like advertise this, make it known to your students.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So can you remind me how many of the four of you have been involved in Vámonos Outside?
3 out of 4 of us have been.
Okay, so oddly, this is the second time in 3 days that Vámonos Outside has come up for me in business meetings. If the three of you had one idea for a new program that Vámonos Outside could begin that would be impactful for you and your peers, what would that be?
That's a tough question. I mean, they already have some pretty great programs. It's trying to get more Latinos outside for the ones that can't. But for me, I personally want to see a little bit more like, I don't know, probably.
I mean, we do have a lot of camps and we have these other many stuff. I feel like maybe bringing like sports in would be a better thing. I feel like with Vámonos Outside and having all of these like different kind of people, like collaborating with Vámonos Outside and not just doing like camps and what we're doing now, but also doing sports and just bringing all like people of color in would be really nice. I mean, I would have for sure joined the sport. They already have some sports, but more like basketball or soccer. We have snowboarding and skiing and mountain biking right now. And is that it, or is there more? Rafting.
I mean, I feel like I'd probably want to see more like family-oriented like events, maybe. So like working at the High District Museum, I saw a lot of like families come in, not necessarily Spanish-speaking families, which I'd love to see more. And I feel like Vámonos Outside could go a lot into that. So I feel like that'd be a great program to start.
I would just add one more thing, that not for future people that go into the programs, but for future interns that they have the possibility, the opportunity to go to the trip like DC again, because it would be cool to see that being continued with the future interns.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Any more questions?
I had a question about the structure. So for the green jobs, are these jobs that outside organizations are offering and they kind of work with green jobs to list them and then connect them with students? Or are they jobs that are created specifically for this program, or how does it work?
Okay, correct me if I get this wrong, but Green Jobs, so Nature Connect is like the big organization. It used to be called Children's Forest, and they made this program for minority students to connect with different organizations. So I think these organizations were already connected with the Nature Connect, and then we are like each individually assigned, or we can apply to different organizations that we wanted to work with. So there was like this big QR code, and then it said like, oh, which organization do you want to work with, and which role do you want to take on? So we each work at different organizations, but it's all under Green Jobs and all under Nature Connect. Yeah. Any other questions? No? All right. Well, thank you for your time. We will be here for a little while to hang out. Can you put the next slide, please? On the brochures that were in the back as well, there's more info if you'd like to scan the QR code for our website or make a donation to Vamanos Outside. We also are going to be here for a little while if you want to understand more how you can support youth. And yeah, thank you so much for your time and for coming. We really appreciate it.